Hey, what's happening, guys? Great to see you today for our daily dose. And it's an exciting prayer we're going to talk about, a dangerous prayer we're going to talk about today from the book of Isaiah. And I think this relates to many of us today where we're at. And it's Isaiah 6, verses 1 through 8 is the context of Isaiah having this moment of unfamiliarity, of his comforts being stripped. Everything in his life has been turned upside down. His life has now been where he had a security of a king who was supportive of the prophecy of God, of the people of Israel, and now he didn't know what the future held. It was a completely similar time to us today. Discomfort, unknown consequences of the future, unprecedented season, unfamiliar places. And yet in this season, Isaiah gets to a place, because I submit this thought, when you feel uncomfortable and unfamiliar, I believe that's when you fully lay yourself before God, and it's a season and a position for him to reveal himself to you. And why is that important? Because I believe a revelation of God will lead to a transformation of your heart and your life, and that transformation will lead to a clear mission that you live out. In this context, Isaiah finds himself alone, and God visits him. He sees the error of his ways. He sees his uncleanness. And in all this, he prays all of these thoughts, but he finishes with this prayer: Father, send me. Think about that prayer for a minute, how powerful it is, because most of my prayers have to do more with asking God for something, requesting God of things, asking for others' needs. And yet this prayer had absolutely nothing to do with what Isaiah wanted, but it had everything to do with what God wanted and needed of him. I love this because there's a thought to this that we need to consider. He says these words, Lord, here I am, send me. I don't know about you, but I think so many of us in the church, we're familiar with the here I am part. Why? Because we know even in church, sometimes some of us, our thought is, well, here I am, Lord, I'm in church, or here I am, I gave my tithe, or here I am. And maybe you know a here I am person. It's a person that every time you talk to them, you get certain sentences and they switch it to their life. And for the next 30 minutes, it's gone. It's all about them. Or maybe it's a conversation that you thought was a dialogue, ended up being a monologue. It's a here I am. I have a daughter all through this COVID-19, it's here I am. You know she's in the house. We're dance partying. We're having a blast. We're doing all these things. She's clearly a here I am person. But I love what Isaiah does and what my daughter has done. He didn't stop at here I am. He submitted himself. God, here I am. I'm doing your will, but what do you want me to do? Send me. Could it be you pray the prayer in this season in the unfamiliar? Father, send me where he'd ask you to go. Lord, send me who he'd ask you to talk to. Lord, send me what family member you'd go and reconcile with. Lord, send me what person you'd give to. I want to give you a testimony of a guy in our church I spoke to recently, and he said that God had been challenging him and his family to do something to someone, and there was a single mom who had a high school student, and they just felt like God said to him, we want you to go bless this family with an amount of money and just give it to them. Don't ask anything of them. And it was the perfect example of them saying, God, send me. And they became a blessing to a single mom in this time as they gave them an allotment of money. This family was forever blessed. And could it be that God's saying that to you this week as you open yourself to the Lord and say, send me? Where would he send you? And how can you obey that? I dare you to pray that dangerous prayer. God bless you.